Frankie Avalon finally talks about Ricky Nelson at the age of 84. Francis Thomas Avalon was born on September 18, 1940, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He came from a working-class Italian-American household that encouraged his early love of music. It was evident from a very young age that Avalon had a special gift. He was already good at playing the trumpet by the time he was a child. This instrument would become the basis for his initial professional triumphs and set him apart from many of his peers. Avalon's early musical talent rapidly led to chances. As a teenager, he started playing in his hometown, and soon professionals in the music business noticed him because of his musical talent and good looks. At first, he only recorded instrumental trumpet compositions, and a few of them were hits and showed off his technical skills, but it was his switch to singing that made him famous all over the country. Frankie Avalon was the perfect American teen idol because of his clean-cut appearance, pleasant smile, and smooth, serious voice. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, Avalon had a streak of unforgettable successes that made him the most popular singer in the pop charts. Some of his hits were Venus, Why, Just Ask Your Heart, and Don't Let Pass Me By. These songs, which were typically passionate and honest about emotions, really connected with young people who were going through their first loves and heartbreaks. Frankie Avalon gave people something to hold on to during a period when rock and roll was changing quickly. Music that was both passionate and soft, exhilarating and safe. His success didn't last long. He won many gold records and was always one of the best artists of his day. Frankie Avalon didn't just stop at music. He also made a smooth transition into film, becoming a key player in the hugely famous beach party movie genre of the 1960s. Avalon often worked with Annette Funicello in fun, sunny movies like Beach Party, Muscle Beach Party, Bikini Beach, and Beach Blanket Bingo. These movies, with their catchy tunes, carefree romance, and youthful energy, were cultural touchstones and helped shape how a generation thought about pleasure and freedom. People really appreciated the relationship between Avalon and Funicello on television. It showed purity, hope, and the joy of young love. Some reviewers say these movies are silly, yet their ongoing popularity reveals a different narrative. Frankie Avalon made parts that could have felt shallow feel real and loving. His charisma was real, his humor was natural, and being around him made me feel better. These movies gave people a way to get away from the fast-paced changes in society and feel happy, traits that still attract followers decades later. As musical preferences changed in the middle of the 1960s with the British invasion and more rebellious rock sounds, Avalon changed with them. Instead of fading away, he expanded his profession by appearing on TV, doing live concerts, and eventually going on nostalgia tours that embraced the music of his youth. In addition to being a great actor, he also had a wide range of roles, including humorous and character roles. His most famous performance was as the teen angel in the popular movie Grease, 1978, where he charmed a new generation of admirers with his self-aware humor and lasting charisma. Frankie Avalon was famous for a long time. Unlike many teen stars whose fame faded rapidly, he kept playing, going on tour, and appearing on TV for decades, enjoying the past without letting it hold him back. His self-aware cameo in the 1978 musical Grease, when he sang Beauty School Dropout, introduced him to a new audience and showed that he could laugh at his own heritage while still appreciating it. This moment confirmed his place as a cultural icon, someone whose impact went beyond time. Frankie Avalon also continued to make new generations of fans happy well into the 21st century by making memorable appearances on some of the most popular music shows on TV. He sang one of his most famous and loved songs, Beauty School Dropout, again in 2007. He performed it with the 4 other female contestants, Kathleen Montean, Ally Schultz, Ashley Spencer, and eventual winner Laura Osnes, who were all competing for the role of Sandy on NBC's hit reality show Grease, I Want You. The event was a great link between different times, bringing together Avalon's initial star power with the excitement and drive of up-and-coming new talents. For longtime admirers, it was a joyful reminder of how timeless the song is. For younger viewers, it was a chance to learn about the man who helped shape a whole generation of music. Avalon was still on TV in the present day. He was on American Idol, one of the most popular talent shows of the time, on April 8, 2009. Once again, he showed that people liked him for decades. People clapped and praised his performance since they could see how amazing his voice and personality were, as well as how long his career had lasted. Avalon shared the stage with other musicians on a platform known for finding new talent. She was a living example of how classic pop music and the people who made it have had a lasting effect. Avalon has continued to be a dynamic and entertaining live performer outside of television. She is currently on a long-running concert tour that commemorates the golden age of early 1960s pop music. He has performed alongside other teen superstars from Philadelphia, Fabian and Bobby Riel, under the name Dick Fox's Golden Boys. The act is a mix of nostalgia, theatrics, and poignant storytelling. The tour has been a happy reunion for the artists, fans who grew up with their music, and new fans who want to feel the excitement of a time that has passed. Avalon, Fabian, and Riel have all shared laughs, memories, and classic tunes on stage. This has helped Frankie Avalon stay a beloved cultural figure and a great entertainer, whose legacy lives on. Frankie Avalon has always lived a private existence that is very different from the stardom and public love that defined his career. And at the center of that private universe is his long-lasting marriage to Catherine K. Debel. Avalon was one of the most famous and sought-after young stars in America at the time of their wedding on January 19, 1963. Teen idols didn't often have long-term, steady partnerships, but Avalon's marriage would turn out to be one of the longest-lasting love tales to come out of the golden age of pop success. K. Debel wasn't in the entertainment business, which could have been one of the things that drew Avalon to her in the first place. She won a beauty contest and was praised for more than just her looks. People also liked her grace, poise, and down-to-earth personality. People have said that their meeting was refreshingly normal. It is said that the two met while playing cards at a friend's house, which is very different from the lavish Hollywood parties and industry events that Avalon normally went to. In that easygoing, camera-free space, a real bond grew. What started as a fortuitous meeting quickly turned into a serious partnership based on shared values, respect for each other, and the desire to live a stable life after fame. Avalon changed after their wedding in 1963, when he was at the height of his fame. He made a conscious choice to put his family ahead of the things that come with being famous. Avalon was entirely committed to becoming a husband, even if many of his peers had rocky relationships, widely publicized divorces, or personal problems. He has often said that Kay has been the one thing that has kept him going over the years, someone who kept him grounded, helped him deal with the stress of celebrity with humility and perspective, and protected his sense of normalcy. Their marriage, which has endured for more than 60 years, is a rare and amazing accomplishment in the entertainment industry. Frankie and Kay Avalon established a big, close-knit family together. They have 8 kids together, which shows how much they value family, tradition, and being together. It took a lot of balance and effort to raise such a big family while also having a hard job, but Avalon always decided to put his family first. He often cut back on work so he could be there for his kids' big occasions, share ordinary moments with them, and create a home based on love and stability instead of being famous. The Avalon family kept growing throughout the years, and they eventually had 10 grandchildren. Frankie has talked about becoming a grandfather with joy and love, and he has embraced that part of his life with the same zest he took to the stage and cinema. Family gatherings, holidays, and shared rituals became a big part of who he was. They made him believe that the best things he had done were not #1 hits or big box office smashes, but the life he built with Kay and their kids. Frankie Avalon Jr., one of their kids, briefly followed in his father's footsteps and became an actor. He is most recognized for his role in the first Karate Kid movie, which has now become a classic. Frankie Jr.'s acting career didn't last very long, but his role in such a famous movie contributed to the Avalon family's ties to American pop culture. But the Avalon kids were never forced into the spotlight, which is important. Frankie and Kay told them to follow their own paths, whether in show business or not. They stressed that education, independence, and personal fulfillment were more important than celebrity. Frankie Avalon finally decided to let people in on a part of his life that he had kept secret for a long time when he was 84. The difficult, emotional memories of his friendship with Ricky Nelson. He thought that time had dulled the sharpest edges of nostalgia, letting him talk not with anger or competition, but with perspective, love, and honesty. Avalon no longer saw the world of adolescent idols as a battlefield. Instead, he saw it as a stage where two young men grew up under the same bright light. "People always wanted to make us fight," Avalon said. "There was only enough for one of us, so Ricky and I were supposed to be enemies. In reality, though, we were simply two kids trying to figure out who we were as everyone else watched." He remembered how quickly they both became famous. "How shouting fans and records that went to the top of the charts came far before I was emotionally ready. In that maelstrom." Avalon thought Nelson was more experienced but also more burdened. "Even if he was already famous from the stories of Azzy and Harriet, people never knew how much I liked Ricky." Avalon remarked that music was in his bones. He didn't put on rock and roll like a garment. It was a part of him. Avalon remembered seeing Nelson grow as an artist and wanting to be regarded seriously beyond how he looked on TV. That fight struck a chord with him. "Our achievement put us both in a box. People liked us for what we stood for, but they didn't always want to see us get bigger." Avalon said that when they were younger, neither of them had the tools to talk about the stress they were suffering. "You didn't sit around and speak about your sentiments back then. You smiled, you sang, and you were on time," he remarked. But Avalon could sense Nelson's calm anger beneath that glossy surface. Ricky wanted more than just applause. He wanted respect, and that takes guts when the business wants you to stay the same. As he got older, he regretted not saying things more than he regretted saying them, Avalon said softly. "I wish I had told him how much I admired his fight to be himself. We all assumed we had more time," Avalon had to face how short those early years really were. "After Nelson died in 1985, it hurt me a lot when Ricky left. It wasn't just losing a friend. It was the end of a moment that only we could grasp." At T84, Avalon doesn't talk like a youthful idol anymore. Instead, she talks like someone who lived through a time when young talent was eaten up and never looked back. "People didn't give Ricky enough credit when he was alive." He remarked that he stayed committed to his music even when it hurt his popularity. "That takes honesty." Now there is not despair in his voice, but respect. "The past has been nicer to him than the present ever was, and I'm pleased about that." In the end, Avalon's thoughts aren't about competition. They're about brotherhood formed in the face of unfathomable odds. He said that we were part of something bigger than us. And Ricky was important. Not just to the charts, not just to the fans, but also to